What if I told you that your worst nightmare was not a figment of your imagination but a terrifying reality? It was a cold winter's night in 2024, when I found out that the line between dreams and reality is much thinner than we believe. I've always been a rational man, a firm believer in science and logic. Ghosts, ghouls, the supernatural, all were just tall tales designed to scare children and the gullible. But that night in February, I felt a chill that defied reason, a cold that seeped into my very soul and turned my skepticism into dreadful belief. I was living in a small town in northern England at the time, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and the most exciting event is the annual sheep shearing festival. One night, I was walking home from the local pub, the air crisp with frost and the moon shining brightly above. Suddenly, a strange sensation prickled at my skin. I felt like I was being watched. I turned around, half expecting to see a curious fox or perhaps a lost sheep, but there was nothing, just the empty, quiet street. I shrugged it off, blaming it on the strong ale from the pub. Days passed and things went back to normal, but every night the feeling of being watched returned, stronger and more persistent. I started to see shadows flitting in the corners of my eyes, heard whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. I could feel a presence, a being, always just out of sight. I tried to ignore it, tried to convince myself it was all in my head, but the fear grew, gnawing at me, eating away my sanity. And then, one night, it happened. I woke up to an icy cold room, the moonlight streaming in through the window. And there, at the foot of my bed, was a figure that should not exist, a figure that defied logic and reason, a figure from my nightmares. As I stared at it, frozen in terror, it stared back at me. Its eyes, cold and dead, held me captive. I could feel its icy grip on my heart, squeezing the life out of me. And then it spoke. Its voice was like the rustling of dried leaves, the sound echoing in the silence of the night. It spoke words I could not understand, but the meaning was clear. It was a warning, a harbinger of things to come. I wish I could tell you that I faced my fear, that I banished the figure back to the depths of my nightmares. But I didn't. I ran as fast as my legs could carry me, away from the terror that had invaded my home, my life. But the figure, the nightmare, it followed. It follows still. And every night, when the moon is bright and the air is cold, I can feel its icy gaze upon me, hear its rustling voice whispering in the dark. What does it want? Why won't it leave me be? I don't know, but I do know this. I am not alone. There are others out there. Others who have seen what I have seen, felt what I have felt. And together, we will uncover the truth, unravel the mystery of the figure from our nightmares. But until then, we wait, we watch, and we fear the coming of the night. For when the moon is bright and the air is cold, the figure returns. And so, my nightmare continues.